When did time begin?
I forgot.
When did you begin to forget?
Don't know.
Maybe time begins when we begin to forget. Is time to forget?
Maybe.
What we remember. What is it you remember?
Images, forms, everything imagined.
But memory is the surfacing of the imaginary.
I suppose so.
Then time is the fading of all that is imagined, the fading of all that is seen.
Fading away into the past.
But what about the space that forms are in?
That must fade with forms. Without forms, there could be no space.
So space fades?
Yes, the space disclosed by the forms, and its fading is what we call time.
Space fades as its forms fade?
Right. Without things, there is no space. The characters shape their stage.
When did the fading begin?
When forms departed from memory, from mind.
At the beginning of time, all forms were in the mind?
Must that not be the case? Time is the measure of forgetfulness. It measures the alienation of forms from mind.
Loss of consciousness.
An obscuring, a dulling of mind.
Does time begin when the mind goes to sleep, when it errs or falls outside of itself?
When is that?
At every moment, perhaps.
Time must be infinite then.
Indefinite as a dream.
A dream that begins and ends in an awakening mind, but that in the middle remains somewhat indistinct.
In the present?
Yes, the present is in the middle.
You mean between the past and the future?
Yes, of course.
Or between the future and the past?
Why, what's the difference?
The future comes first, then the present passes.
Oh, yes, of course. The future makes itself present.
It becomes a gift.
And then the past tries to seize it?
Does it not?
No, it cannot. It appropriates only the shadow, the body of the gift. I mean, of the present.
And the past is the place where all is lost?
Yet the past is the underworld, the realm of the dead, Hades.
The realm of forgetfulness?
The place where forms fade, where they are forgotten.
But then they re-emerge. We can recollect them.
Yes, but from the future. The future is the place whence forms are found.
Found in the present, right?
Yes, the present is the place where forms surface.
Out of the future.
Right.
So forms, everything imagined, comes from the future?
By God.
And they cannot be lost in themselves.
Only their shadow, their determination can be lost.
Their what?
The form in the future is not fixed, confined. In the present it is determined. But the determination, the body, dies in the past.
So the past would be the realm of bodies without form?
Almost mindless bodies, ghosts of minds, echoes.
Echoes of the future.
Dead bodies.
But even the dead can speak.
As echoes, yes.
Echoes of the future. Is that when time begins?
Yes, but the future that enters into the present is not of this present. It is destined to rise back into the future.
But the present comes from the future.
Yes, but the future that enters into the present is not of this present. It is destined to rise back into the future.
But first it must die into the past, right?
Not in itself. Its body, its determination must fade. Memory of it must fade.
But we can remember it in the present?
Yes, thank God.
From the future, if we remain open to it.
When 2 or 3 of us gather in its name, the future is present, not merely past.
Gathering in the name of the future?
In the name that is the gift of the future, we stand for that which is future in the present.
You mean that the name is that which is present without dying?
Right, like numbers.
Signs of the future?
Yes, and you cannot grasp them the way you do in the case of tangible objects.
Then the world, the present, is really made of numbers.
That's what is left of the present once all else fades into the past.
Once you empty the present of shadows?
Right. What you have left is the promise of the future.
The future that shows itself as a promise.
By God, yes.
And if you try to grasp that gift, you lose it?
Everything you grasp, you lose.
Does that mean that everything you remember, you forget?
Part of everything.
You mean the part you grasp, while the rest returns to the future?
Yes, the future that belongs to God.
God who is eternal.
While we partake in His eternity by letting go of all that dies.
Then we are not really of the present either, We are not merely dying.
We do not belong to time alone.
Then we cannot be measured by time.
If time is the measure of dying, right.
And dying is grasping, falling into the past.
What you grasp is heavy, so it falls into the past, into the earth.
By its gravity.
And what is light rises to the heavens?
As spirit.
Yes, but the middle is between what can be grasped and what can never be grasped.
And words remain in the middle?
Yes, like us.
Of past and future.
So we stand at the beginning of time, of the present world, which is the present.
In the beginning, yes, time never begins in the past. Once again, the beginning is the present.
Now that is not easy to grasp.
Right, and so perhaps we should let it go.
Yes, let us. Enough said for today.
And enough forgotten.